Hi there, this is Michael Becker, and in this Tinderbox lesson, we're going to focus on how do you find content in your Tinderbox file, and particularly using a concept called regular expression or a capability. So let me jump in and show you what we're going to do. So here you see two files that I have in DevonThink, which is a fabulous tool for managing long-form content like PDF files. And I've got two files. If you didn't know that already about me, I'm hyper-focused in the cybersecurity and privacy space. And so I'm looking at two files, personal data stores in GDPR, and how do I manage my personal data. And you'll see there's some abstracts that I've got content in here. And so what I'm going to do is show you how I can be searching against the abstracts of these articles. So I'm going to move these articles away. And I will have already put these articles into my Zotero reference manager. Now, there's a whole bunch of other kinds of reference managers out there. I personally happen to like Zotero a lot. So what I'm going to do is, and you'll see over here, I've got my Tinderbox file. So Zotero supports a function called our RIS export. And RIS is a file formatting strategy that Tinderbox or notation methodology that Tinderbox understands. So I have Zotero set up to do file export in RIS. So when I pull a Zotero item over to my Tinderbox file, you see that Tinderbox automatically recognizes this item as a reference, and so therefore automatically applies the reference prototype. And then if I grab the other article of interest that we had in for today's lesson, I'm going to pull that over, and you'll see now I have two articles that I've dragged over from my reference files. And you'll note here that there is an attribute that's been created, or as part of a system attribute called abstract, and the abstract of the information for that particular article is here. Now, we don't need Zotero anymore for the time being. So essentially now what we want to do is find content about these articles. And specifically I want to find the articles that have the information, personal data and privacy close together in proximity to each other within the language of these notes, so that I can assume that if the words personal data and privacy are related to each other within the abstract or in the body text of a particular note, that then these notes might be of a particular interest. And so then the question is, how will we go about doing that, and how do we go about finding that information? Well, one thing you could do is you could just go up here and type the word privacy, right? And I could go looking for notes that have the word privacy. So I'm finding two. One is my agent, and the other one is this note that is about personal data. And I'm going to delete that here for later. And so then if we go up here and I type privacy again, you'll see now I'm only getting the agent that I have that word privacy in it. But how do I find multiple words, and how do I interact with that? Well, that can be hard unless you understand this concept called regular expression. So regular expression is a methodology for looking at sequences of characters or patterns within sequence of characters, which was labeled or conceived of by this gentleman by the name of Stephen Cole Clean in the 1950s, where he recognized this concept of, let's look at patterns of characters, let's call those patterns of characters regular expression, and we're going to enable computers to be searching on it. So regular expression is a very, very cool capability to be thinking about and understanding within your text. So let me go find my file where I had some regular expression code ready to go to show you. And let's go ahead and show you this. So for this particular demonstration, and this is a really helpful website, by the way, regular expression info, that I use often as a kind of a source file for regular expression. And essentially regular expression allows you to combine various flags within a string of characters and instruct the computer to look for patterns within your text language. So for example, I went ahead and did a search on how do I find characters that are words that are near each other. This website pops up and you can get that regular expression string. And again, this is just a series of commands or flags that you would instruct a computer to use through its find or regular expression engine to be able to look for that kind of content. Now there are command lines underneath your computer, such as grep and awk, that are also able to use and read regular expression. And guess what? Tinderbox reads regular expression too. So let me give you some examples of what regular expression search looks like, not in Tinderbox. So let's say I'm using BB Edit, which is a really great text manipulation or text-based text editing tool. And if you go in BB Edit and you click to New, if you click to New and you click New and then you find Playground and click on that, what that does is that will open up your regular expression playground. And so you'll see here, what I essentially did is I pasted the abstract from one of my articles into BB Edit. And then all I needed to do was copy and paste the regular expression. And a lot of regular expression has already been written, and that's out there that to find it. So I just copied and pasted these regular expression elements, changed the arguments to the words that I was looking for, in this case personal data and stores, and the word privacy. And you'll see what happens is the BB Edit tool is showing me what it's doing. It's finding the word personal data store or personal data here, and then the word privacy there, and it's saying, okay, this particular content has that text string in it. Now, one thing to be aware of when you're looking and playing with different regular expression tools and services, another tool I really like is a tool called Expression. So let me go open that one up for you. Let's see if I can find it. And the reason why I like Expression is it actually shows you the different flags that in meta characters that you can be using in your regular expression. So for example, you see this backslash B here. What backslash B means in regular expression lingo is match if the current position is a word boundary. So basically, you're going to bind your search around that particular word, and that's what the B characters are meaning here. And you also see that here in this website, where it actually shows you what the shorthand is for the word B, or for like the context of the word W. What that one is looking for stands for word character, meaning that you want to bound it around particular word characters. So essentially, we're not here to be teaching you regular expression. There's tons of resources and research out there to help you with that. And there's some really good books on it as well. I have one laying around here somewhere, but you can just use the websites too. That will show you how to deconstruct all of this. But once you actually find a regular expression that works, and let me be clear on that, this concept of works. Like you'll see that the BB Edit playground, this regular expression is working perfectly fine in the BB Edit playground. But when I use the same text and I apply it in, actually, let's see if it is the same text. So if I go over here and I apply it in here, and I apply the same text. Yeah, and there you go. You'll see that the Essentials site is also finding the same text. So it really doesn't matter which utility or tool you're using. But one thing to be aware of is not every tool or utility uses the exact same way of reading regular expression. And so sometimes when it works in one tool and it doesn't work in another, it could be just because the syntaxes are off of that particular tool. But in this case, you're seeing the two different tools are actually working really, really well. And so this Expressions tool is great on your Mac, and so is BB Edit. Again, I'm just focusing to show you sometimes it's easier to debug, and this is another key point. It's easier to debug your regular expression in tools like Expression or BB Edit than trying to figure it out in Tinderbox, because Tinderbox is not, let me be very clear, Tinderbox is not a regular expression editing tool. Tinderbox is your note-taking tool that happens to be able to use regular expression. So hopefully all that makes sense. So now let's go back to Tinderbox, and let me show you how I'm using that capability. So I'm going to move this away, and we're going to go back to Tinderbox now. Now in Tinderbox, you'll see here I've created an agent. And you'll see here I've got the regular expression element here too. And I'm using the agent right now just as a scratch pad for my various queries. And a little side trick, by the way, is I always apply the code prototype to my agents. So that way I can write in the text pad without the quotes being automatically transformed from straight quotes to smart quotes. So it allows me to write my my queries in a larger space than having it crammed all the way up in here. That's just a little trick. Now, let me show you something really fun with Tinderbox. I'm going to go ahead and grab some regular expression here. And let's say I now wanted to go find all of the notes that have privacy and personal data in them. And I'm going to go ahead and type the word privacy back in here. And we're going to apply this regular expression search in the search field. So rather than just looking for the word privacy, I'm going to look for the word privacy using regular expression. And when I pull that up, look, it found it right there. There's the note using the regular expression search parameters that found both personal data and privacy as a result in that search. So you'll see that the standard search function of Tinderbox really works, and it will search and search. It will also allow you to, the search function in Tinderbox will also allow you to search user attributes and names. It will not allow you, or today it doesn't support your ability to search system attributes. And so when you're wanting to search system attributes, and or user attributes for that matter, you're going to want to use agents. Now, let's take a look at what we want to accomplish here. So going back to the beginning of my kind of proof case or use case, I want Tinderbox. I'm going to delete this now for the purpose of this demo. So you'll see here we have 3 notes. We have 2 articles, and then a note that is not about personal that is not about personal data and privacy. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go find the notes that have personal data or privacy or other types of characters that are associated and linked to each other. So let's take a look at the regex and the agent query combined together as a strategy. So you'll see here I'm telling Tinderbox, go into the abstract system attribute, do a find contains, and apply the regex, which is essentially go find notes that have the word personal and the word privacy that are within 50 characters or 50 words of each other. That's what this regex is saying. So now if I go ahead and copy this up here and I paste it in here and I turn the agent back on and I hit 1 and we hit run agent, you'll see all of a sudden Tinderbox has gone and found the 2 notes that have the words privacy and personal information related to each other within 50 characters of each other. And if I change it to 10 in the abstract, and let's say I change it to 10 words, and I go ahead and do it, okay, and we run the agent, you'll see, okay, still, they're within 10 words of each other too, within those notes. So you can see some really interesting strategies around how you want to apply and interact with the notes. Similarly, I can do another strategy here where let's say I wanted to find the notes that had the word personal data and the privacy. So personal data together and privacy. So if I go ahead and do that, you'll see we're also going to find those same 2 notes again. And we'll move these out of here as aliases. We'll delete them and then let Tinderbox run it again. And you'll see it found those notes again. Now, pretty exciting. So you see we're able to go in here and find the notes that have within their abstract information. And I want to show you that data here. Here's the word personal data. And then you'll find in here the word privacy is in here too. So you'll see the words personal data and privacy are within those 50 words of each other. And so Tinderbox is finding those notes for you. And but here's a critical thing. Notice it's not finding a note about personal data. So even though personal data is in the name of this note, it's not in the abstract. And you'll also see personal data is in the text. But since it's not in the abstract, because that's what we're searching on, this note is not being found. Now watch what happens when I do this. If I go ahead now and look at the agent, and now I'm going to run and combine it and say, I want you to look for personal data and privacy, not just in the abstract, but also in the text. So abstract.I contains personal data as well as privacy as or, and the little pipe here means the or operator, or text.I contains personal data and privacy. And so now if we go ahead and search this and we hit enter and we let the agent run. Okay, and sometimes it's easier to look in map view to see what's going on. And you'll see it's come back with a couple of results. And let's go look in outline view. And you'll see, but interestingly enough, it's still only found those 2 results, because if you remember, if we look back at our agent, we're telling it to find in the abstract personal data and privacy, or personal data and privacy. So this note still doesn't have the word privacy anywhere in it, in its text. So now if I go in here and type the word privacy, okay, and so now personal data and privacy are within the parameters of that regex code. And I go ahead and hit update agent now. Look, the agent has now found that note because it's now meeting the parameters. So in this lesson, what I'm hoping you were able to see and learn is there's this wonderful concept called regular expression or capability. And regular expression is essentially a method for doing text-based pattern matching. There's tons of tools out there that you can use and leverage to learn how to make these regex strings and queries. As in the case of like this one, find near, I didn't write a word of this. I just found the website, copied it, and used it. Sometimes though, if you have a particular nuanced type of search that you're looking for, you're going to want to play around with regex and to find the right string of characters that help you match the patterns that you're looking to do. If you get stuck, be sure to work with the Tinderbox community, and we'll happily help you, debug your regex and figure that out. But I just wanted to, with this lesson, show you yet another one of the great powers of Tinderbox and how you can, really, start curating and creating and gleaning insight out of all of the notes that are in your Tinderbox file. And just imagine if this file did not just have 2 articles, but had hundreds. Not just with their abstracts, but with all the personal notes that I put on it myself. So this is a really, really powerful tool and mechanism for you to stumble across and discover your concepts and insights as you're doing your work. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. And as always, if you wouldn't mind, please be sure to like this video as well as subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to tell your friends. Thanks.